Hello, welcome back to NiiJii Capital Partners, the nuts and bolts of NiiCap. I'm your host, Marcus Greeno, technical assistant and lending specialist for NiiJii Capital Partners. And today I want to discuss with you something that I am very passionate about, and that is developing your own elevator pitch. Now, I think some folks are usually wondering, what is an elevator pitch? Do you do it in an elevator? Do you pitch somebody while you're in an elevator? No, it doesn't have anything to do literally. What I'm really trying to convey to everybody here today is an elevator pitch is something that you utilize when you have only like 30 seconds to a minute to be able to talk to somebody, and you want to give them everything you want, everything that you know about either your business or a product that you're trying to sell. So today I'm going to really talk about the breakdown of how you develop your own elevator pitch. Now, speaking from my own experience as someone who's done sales and who's developed their own pitches, some of the things that I like to do is I really like to have an emotional appeal. I want it to be concise. I want it to have passion, and I want it to come from the heart, because people really can tell when you're speaking from the heart and when you have passion behind it. So for me, how I started everything was I started my own nonprofit when I was about 19. It was called Citizens for a Sustainable Future. And what we did was we educated the public on alternative methods to sustain the planet, to promote businesses that are taking the initiative to run their operations sustainably and create a platform for future generations to live by. Now, obviously that sounds very appealing, but at the same time, there's so much jargon in there. And it's obviously, you get the point of what Citizens for a Sustainable Future is about. But at the same time, like, there's passion, but it's not coming from the heart, you know? So, and it's not concise. So I think those are some key points that we have to think about. Now, let's take it back here. Let's unwrap it. So, to educate the public on alternative methods to sustain the planet, let's take that first piece. In my mind, I think that you don't really want to say all that in one sentence. You really want to think about how you want to say it in a way where you have something that really resonates with somebody. So for me, when I think about educate the public on alternative methods to sustain the planet, I think of economic development. Now, when you say economic development, then people are like, oh, okay, that's definitely interesting. Now let's look at this other piece too, of to promote businesses that are taking the initiative to run their operations sustainably. That's another piece of economic development as well. And I think how I look at it is you want to be able to have these good sound bites that people already know. So like, you know, in some of the work that I did before, it was kind of like, you know, how do you take care of, you know, people's needs when it comes to food? Well, it's called food security, but a lot of people don't understand that. Or if you look at the much broader sense, like, well, that's farming or that's food production, but like food security, you know, it's a really key word. Now let's go to that last one. To create a platform for future generations to live by. Now, if we unpack that a little bit, we look at it as that could mean, you know, revitalizing culture and language. For a lot of indigenous communities, language and culture is tied to ecological restoration or sustainability for the planet. And then if we look at, you know, bringing nutrition or incorporating some type of nutrition into a public school system. Now you're looking at healthy living. You're looking at teaching people how to grow food, and all that revolves around creating a platform for future generations to live by. That language and culture, and you know, bringing nutrition into the school system. So let's go back a little bit and start it from the beginning. So I'm going to do my elevator pitch right now. Hello, my name is Marcus Greeno. I'm the Executive Director of Citizens for a Sustainable Future. a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to create economic development, revitalize culture and language, and bring nutrition back to the public school system. Ending diabetes has plagued Indigenous communities. And I'm here today to talk to you more about the projects that we were working on the Menominee Indian Reservation. Do you have time for a moment to talk to me? And that is how you do it. And that is how you create an elevator pitch. Because right there, you see, it's concise. There is an emotional appeal. There's passion in there. And it comes from the heart, because what you're trying to do is we go back to what I was trying to do, is that you're trying to eliminate diabetes. And that hits home to everybody in Indian country, because everybody has a family member who has had diabetes at one point in their life, or they, succumb to the diabetes illness. So I think that it really resonates with people. So that's how I would structure an elevator pitch if I were to do that with my organization. Now, for folks who may not be in the nonprofit world or may not work in the same line of work that I do, I have some really good, helpful questions that you could go through. So if you're starting a business and you wanted to create your own elevator pitch, you always want to think about, what is your product or service? What feature does it have that no one else has? Who is your client or your customer that you're catering to? Where do you serve the customer or client, like demographic area, target markets? What customer need is it solving? Is it solving a customer's problem or issue that they're having? Does it provide that solution to them? And then what are the benefits for my client if they were to either buy the product that I'm selling or pay for the service that I'm providing? And these are, I'd say, the 6 main questions that you have to ask yourself when you're developing your elevator pitch. And then when you get down to the nitty-gritty of answering all these questions, then you really structure it and you create some type of keywords. And that is Elevator Pitch 101. Thank you so much for tuning in today on the nuts and bolts of NiiCap. We look forward to seeing you again, and watch out for the other videos that we'll be posting soon. Thank you. NiiJii.